This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6. I'm going to start at verse 6, and it reads, "But godliness with contentment is great gain." Verse 7, "For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out." Verse 8, "And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content." Verse 9, "But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition." Verse 10, "For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some covet after, they have erred from the faith, and pierced themselves through with many sorrows." Verse 11, "But thou, O man of Yahweh," or "But thou, O man of power," or "But thou, O man of the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, and meekness." Verse 17, skipping to verse 17. "Charge them that are rich in this world that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living power, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy." I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Kol Haloyim, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash Barakatham. I want to say shalom to the elder apostles, the heads of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim, as well as the bishops, the elders, the Akim, out here pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. So this the brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant. And I'm coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai. I came across this article. It might have been yesterday. I can't remember. I knew I was going to do a lesson on it. Spirit hit me to do a lesson on it today. Because, right now you got a lot of these, entertainers, these people that's put on the pedestal in the society, these entertainers, these so-called lesser luminaries, these stars. They basically, I believe it was Tom Brady and Steve Curry. They both had money in a cryptocurrency FTX, which lost a lot of money. I was listening to the brother Bakoramath speak on it. Now you got another cryptocurrency that's losing money, and you got all these individuals that trusted in this money literally scrambling trying to get their money out because they seeing this shit is in like a free for all. So a lot of these major cryptocurrencies are tanking at the same time, while the Fed's digital currency, the CBDC, central bank digital currency, they're actually in the works of trying to actually present and basically distribute. They're trying to set it up where they actually distribute this. So it's not by coincidence, it's spiritual. And that's why you shouldn't trust in this digital currency. Trust in Esau, Edom, period. It made me think of the scripture in James where it talks about the rich man going how? James chapter 5. because you got these rich men holler. This is the book of James chapter 5 and verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Verse 3, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. You have, Salakia, witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. And, you got these people, because it's such a covenant spirit in, Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America, you got people that's trusting in this, the bag, the money, not understanding that the money that they're, collecting, the people that truly run this world, because the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, which is these, these Amalekites, these, so-called Caucasian, Amalekites, so-called Jewish people that run the banking industry. Basically, they're trying to switch the system over to something digital, and with the inflation, because the results of the inflation is all that stimulus that was passed years ago is going to bring down this current system. So that's why this their riches is corrupted, and they've called themselves trying to save money for the last days, but in the end, it's going to be to their detriment. It tells you in the book of Ezekiel chapter 7 that they're going to cast their gold and silver in the streets, because you're not going to be able to eat a piece of gold and silver. At the time, goods was profit you. Shit, a gun will profit you, because at least you could take what somebody else has. But gold doesn't only have a value. You could do so much with gold. Gold conducts electricity. Gold can actually be eaten. I talked to Jake that said that he looked at me like I was retarded. And that just show you how low vibration these people are. But, you had societies that actually ingested gold. You know what I mean? But anyhow, nonetheless, it doesn't hold any value if nobody holds any value to it. You know what I mean? Like, if nobody is subscribing to use that as a currency, people put their trust in the American dollar, believing that they trust in this currency. And that's why it's more so like a talisman, a tool of witchcraft as opposed to money, because real money is gold, silver, cattle, you know what I mean? Land, So this is out of my news breaking. This is out of Los Angeles Times, and it reads, crypto tycoon Sam Bankman-Fried didn't lose a $16 billion fortune. His fortune was never real to begin with. And you know what I mean? Again, going into trust in uncertain riches. The way that this monetary system is set up is fiat. It's a fake credit system to a degree. That's why you have your financial institutions that are allowed to say that they have $1 million on the books, but only have 100,000. They can use your money because you trust in them to protect your money and use your money to make more money off your money. It's a form of witchcraft. This isn't a new system. When you really go into what the red Hebrew Edomite, the so-called white man, has done, he hasn't come up with anything. All he has done is recycle and reused a lot of old knowledge, ancient knowledge. That's why he's considered the ancient Chaldean. Because again, a lot of how the system operates is based off of Babylon, off of ancient Egypt, off the ancient Rome, So it says the Greek tragedy unfolding in the financial press over the land, and that's spiritual, the Greek tragedy, because we know that these people are the Grecians. Then the Romans, that all go back to the Edomite. The Greek tragedy unfolding in the financial press over the last week is the story of Sam Bankman-Fried, the would-be cryptocurrency tycoon and political kingmaker whose multi-billion-dollar empire has sunk like the Titanic after its encounter with the iceberg. Bloomberg put it this way: Bankman-Fried's assets plummeted from 16 billion to zeros in days. So I guess Kanye ain't the only one that lost billions, right? It says the story under that headline reported that Bankman-Fried's entire fortune has been wiped out in one of history's greatest ever destructions of wealth. Yet something doesn't compute here. It's that 16 billion assets can't simply disappear in a matter of days, not if they were real in the first place. But let Kanye say he had 2 billion. He lost 2 billion in one day. So Yeah, something. Salaki Bankman-Fried neither had 16 billion in assets at the start of the last week and still has a sizable share of it today, or zero now and close to zero then. Both things can't be true. Based on the report that Bankman-Fried and his cryptocurrency exchange firm FTX, that's a spirit, are now under investigation by federal prosecutors and securities regulators, I'm voting that 16 billion was mythical and that zero is the right number, because it probably was all a Ponzi scheme. I can't think of that guy name that was doing that big ass Ponzi scheme. That damn, he like basically fucked up like $1 billion. I can't think of what's his name? Start with an M. Madoff, Bernie Madoff. To the point where it wasn't no family love. To show you how the Edomites are. The sons was living off of it, but at the end of the day, when it came time to who get the time, they put it all on their daddy. I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know if it was strictly the inside deal on the daddy, because maybe he divulged it right before he seen about the crash. Who's to say? But more than likely, this was another Ponzi scheme, because you got loopholes in the society financial system where you can, like with credit. Period. Credit is, on the basis of they believe that you can literally pay it, so they'll give you a line of credit for way more than you're worth. And that's what they're saying is going to really hurt people with this coming recession, because basically banks aren't going to be lending like that. And I'm seeing it affect certain things with my job now. And I work in an industry where people need the product that we deal with. And the product I deal with is in every household. Or not the product, the products. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm watching how the orders shrinking and the shrinkage. So, yeah, this is real. That's not the narrative being wholesaled by the financial press and investment pundits. Their story is that Bankman-Fried had it all, then lost it all. He has played into the narrative himself via a series of tweets last week in which he apologized for, among other things, overestimating how much he had available to pay customers who wanted to withdraw their funds from FTX. So that lets you know this is more than likely a Ponzi scheme. Let's skip. What's known thus far, according to the FTX balance sheet published by the Financial Times, is that the firm recently had about 900 million in liquid assets against nearly 9 billion in liabilities. That means that FTX, the core of Bankman-Fried's purported fortune, was as much as 8 billion in the hole. So, it got me thinking of a scripture. And people thought that this was going to be a way, trusted that, oh yeah, we're going to make so much money, yeah. But, scriptures talk about, cursed be the man that trusteth in man. The book of Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. I just put Jeremiah 17, verse 5. This book of Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, cursed be the man that trusteth in man and make of flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord. So a man that putting his trust in himself and another man, cursed be that man. Because at the end of the day, it tells you in the scriptures that the race is not given to the swift or the strong, but victory comes from the Lord, and that's why David was so pleasing to the Lord, because he had, when you go into the word faith and confidence, they're pretty much, pretty much the same. David had faith and confidence that the Most High Yahweh Yahushua would protect him and give him the strength to overcome Goliath. Did David go off? Yeah, because he was in his weak ass body, his flesh. But he had a beautiful spirit, because he always relied on the Most High Yahweh Yahushua. Bear with me for a second. Salakia. So they basically bought all what they could. When the money failed and they ain't had no money, they sold themselves onto the Pharaoh. And if you pay attention to what this devil, the modern Egyptian, is doing, that's what he's doing. right now. That's why he's creating this man-made orchestrated famine. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 47, and the point is I'm going to start at verse 14. And Joseph, no, I'm going to start up. Genesis 47, verse 13. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. So basically, Joseph was selling the people the corn. And it was such a bad famine that basically everybody spent all the money. And when the money failed, when the money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. So they didn't have any more money. So what did they do next? They basically sold themselves. And that's the whole game plan of this fucking devil. He's about to put people in desperate situations to literally make you bend the knee. So when the elder apostle Tahar says that nobody's going to force you, they won't have to. You know, if you're not in the spirit and you thinking carnally, you know what I mean? We all about to be tested, you know, and that's why the scriptures talk about not loving money. You know, this is book of Matthew, chapter 6. I'm going to start at verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Verse 21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So what do you like, what's the word? What do you desire? What do you put all your energy into? What do you love the most? That's what you're gonna focus on. And that's why when you go into verse 22, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. So when you go, like I always use the analogy of biker's boys, because somebody broke it down to me like that. You know, that single eye. You ever been geeked up and you got that one eye? But I mean, you know, bad joke. But the point is, you know, that tunnel vision. You know, and biker boys, he had tunnel vision, so that's what made him such a good, racer on the bike, because he basically was focused on the finish line. And that's what brothers in the truth need to be. You know, the Lord is going to test you, because we basically, when you came to call yourself serving the truth or doing the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you know, you basically made a covenant. You know, you made an oath. And the scriptures talk about make no oath to the Lord and do not it said don't make an oath to the Lord and do not keep your oath, roughly paraphrased. So with that being said, the Lord about to try everybody. You know what I mean? So, it's better to that's why Paul said, it's better to be as he was, being not having a family. Because there's certain things, the Lord tests a lot of men when they first come to the truth through your woman. I've experienced it. I know a lot of brothers have. Some brothers, they don't, that won't be their test. But we all will have a test that's strictly set up for you. Scriptures talk about woe to them that are rich, because they have received their consolation. I believe that's Luke chapter 6. So brothers have given up, their lives on this side because they've laying up their treasures in heaven to receive a reward in the kingdom. And, even in the book of Matthew chapter 19, it talks about when I think Peter asked, what should they receive? Because they gave up, their lives on this side. Peter had a whole family. I constantly bring that up. People would think the Most High God wants you to do this and do that and, help old ladies and feed the homeless and all that. And that's, if you able to do that, that's cool to a degree, but the Most High don't give a fuck about that. You really don't. Because the Most High gonna take care of the homeless. I mean, I'm living proof of that. I've watched that. It tells you in the scriptures, if you please the Lord, your enemies shall be at peace with you. I had Esau feeding me. You know, so you're gonna have Jake and these 2/3 and Jake Jake of the 2/3, you know, the heathen and the Edomites all trying to be, you know, looking and thinking about it through the flesh, you know, so they're gonna do whatever Esau literally has them to do to try to survive and sustain and to live. It talks about in the scriptures about how those that going to try to save their life are going to lose, and then those that lose their life for the sake of Yahweh Shem Yahushua shall gain eternal life forever, roughly paraphrased. You know, so people going to trust in Yahweh Salakia. People going to trust in Esau Edom, the red Hebrew Edomite, this fucking devil. But it tells you in the scriptures, back book of Habakkuk chapter 2, that the just shall live by faith. You know, it tells you in the scriptures that and the true worshiper, you know, is going to trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It tells you in the scriptures that he's a man that he cannot lie. He cannot. He will not. And they don't say he will not. It says he cannot. You know, and you got to believe that. That's why I believe the Lord takes us through our different trials and tribulations. They're all tests to build you up for whatever your lot is. And I wholeheartedly believe that. Some men are a lot different than others, but some brothers have more faith than others, you know. You know, you got to understand your particular walk in the truth is set up for what you and how you offended Yahweh Shem Yahushua, what you did in your past. So, again, I brought up this article to show don't trust in this fucking monetary system because that bitch going down the drain. And watch all these other currencies. They talk about Bitcoin down, all these different coin systems down. I got a nephew that's really made money off cryptocurrency. He got his own cryptocurrency. You know what I mean? Like real shit. Making good bread, you know what I mean? But I don't know if he is now, you know what I mean? I mean, call lawyer like Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Made you know, this dark winter bring the introduction of the end. If you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes, and to the commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew or the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, or you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyim, La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwath as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. I want to say shalom, shalom. Shalom.